JB Morrow, go and get your bag.
What's up, what's good? It's your favorite stud Tank, and I appreciate y'all tapping in today with Dope and Epic Films. Today, y'all, I'm gonna do something a little different. I figure I'll do a sit down with me in a story time. In a story time of just my life in the past year, and I guess just the challenges that I have faced over the course of the past year and the challenges that I am facing now after the course of the past year. So, where we get started at? Well, let's get started with you guys pressing that subscribe button, hitting those likes, and y'all, let's go on, let's get into it. All right, as you see here, this is my beautiful and lovely mother. I am sitting in the room that used to be hers. I just made it my creative space. I wanted to turn something in that was just something that's very stressful into something creative to, you know what I'm saying, to figure out this energy and, you know, trying to keep that going and trying to move my life back into a positive direction. So, to get into the story of, y'all don't mind my hookah over here. Don't mind that. That's just not even supposed to be there. It's just sitting there and my wife brought it in here. But, okay, so we're gonna start back December of 2022 is when my mom had came to live with me and my wife here in the desert. December 1st to be exact. Let's not even go there. Okay, she came to live with us December 1st. Prior to her coming to live with us, she was living in a boarding care, and prior to that, she was living in a boarding care, and then she went to a skilled nursing facility. My mom did not want to be in a skilled nursing facility, and she didn't want to stay in there. And you know, me as her daughter, I wasn't going to make her, you know. So she came to stay with me, and my wife came to stay with us. And just a little backstory of my mom, and prior to her getting to a boarding care and prior to her getting to a skilled nursing facility, my mom has had health issues over the course of years. I can't even put a pinpoint on when it started. But she was diabetic, she had high blood pressure, she had congestive heart failure. She had a plethora of things going on. Okay, so on the back end of that, prior to my mom also moving with us, she had an amputation on her left side. She had an amputation on her left side, so she had got her amputated prior to her coming here. So when she came with us, she wasn't in the best shape. Her wounds on her amputation were kind of still open, and they were kind of still open, and they also were gushing fluids. So as you can say, after my mom got here, not too long after that, I'll say about 3 days, she ended up going to the hospital. And she ended up going to the hospital because she was going out and wasn't coherent. So we ended up calling the ambulance, and they came out and they picked her up. So she went to the hospital, and from there she was in the hospital. She was in the hospital a little while. They basically let it be known that she needed to go to what they called a SIF, I guess, or a skilled nursing facility after her going to the hospital, because the reason for that at that time was, what was the reason for that at that exact time? It was to get her strength back, basically, because she was kind of weak. So she was down in there for a little while, and she was down there for a little while, and they wanted to make sure before they let her go that she was okay. So when they did let her go, it was actually on her birthday. So I made sure that I went and picked her up on her birthday, because, you know, who wants to spend their birthday in a place like that? So as her wishes, I brought her home, and she was home with us she's been here. We're caring for her on a daily. But even then, still, her health was a battle and it was a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't just one thing. It was, it was more than one thing. So even when we felt like we were conquering one thing, we still had a battle with something else. You know what I mean? So with that being said, she came back home. She was at home. She was good. But it still was a challenge. She still had a health problem. So with that, she was at home, and we loved having my mom here. We enjoyed her here. We cooked dinners, cooked her breakfast, we bathed her, interacted, gave her companionship, all that. Let her know that she was loved and that, she's not by herself, and that we were here, here for her and here with her. And so that's the first round, because in all honesty, guys, I have came in on my mom several times and her being unconscious, or even her not even being unconscious. We're there and we're braiding her hair, and she just starts turning blue and start looking like she can't breathe. And that part of that was her congestive heart failure. So me and my wife would always know that, stimulate her heart. So we would always, pump her heart, stimulate her heart, call the ambulance. At the end of the day, we could do what we can on our end here, but it's kind of like over our head. So at that point, we start realizing that, this is serious, and it's serious business. It's been serious business, and it was hard. You know what I'm saying? Because every time that she would have these episodes, and every time that a piece of her would leave, I feel like a piece of me left every single time, and I was never right after that. I had suffered with depression. I had suffered just being emotional, just being at home, just being in a space of stress, confusion, all type of things, you know what I mean? And that had been my life for that year, but that wasn't just even the half of it. So yeah, with that, so we had found, basically we're doing her hair, and she started turning purple and blue, so we could see that something wasn't right. Her eyes was rolling in the back of her head, and she was not as responsive as she should have been. She wasn't like not breathing, but she was kind of out of it and turning purple and blue. So, when you see that somebody is losing their oxygen, and that they're having a hard time breathing. Over the course of this past year of taking care of my mom, I've learned so much, and the medical field is crazy because I didn't even know half of it, but given the fact of me wanting to do the best I could and the best I can to make sure that I did and was well educated in the aspects of helping her, I did learn to do wound care. I did learn how to do a Hoyer lift. I did learn CPR. I did learn learning when, certain things, a lot of things I learned. And growing up, I've always been observative. So, when it came down to this, I've always been just so observative of her, and coming in and just, evaluating her, looking at her, and just seeing like, something's not right, or something's off, or something's not right. I would automatically know. So, that was the first to second incident, you know what I mean? Oh, goodness, guys, y'all bear with me. This is a whole lot. It's fairly fresh. She just passed away August 29th of August, so this year, so y'all just bear with me, please. It's still a battle. I battle every day. I'm battling now. I'm battling it tomorrow. I'm battling the next hour. So yeah, and I'm not gonna get emotional because that's not what we're here to do. You know what I'm saying? Even though I am, wanting to give my story time and just want to share this with you guys. I don't know if anybody's ever been in this position, or if you may be in this position. We all have mothers, we all have fathers, we have grandmothers, we have aunties, uncles. We're all going to get older, and we're all gonna go one day, and we, and sometimes when you get older, health problems set in. So, it's a battle that we all, or some of us, not all, will face. But yeah. So, with that being said, that was the second incident of her going in and kind of going out of it and recognizing what was going on. So we immediately called 911, and prior to calling 911 getting here, we were still stimulating and trying to pump her heart and give her air and all of that. And it's crazy because we would do that and she would come back and she would be okay, right? And then when the ambulance would get here, she would be fine. She would be fine. And prior to them getting here, we would be in here going through the most mentally. That is nothing easy. It's nothing slight. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing light, nothing slight. You know what I'm saying? So when they would come, we would be looking like, whoa, like, y'all just don't even have no idea, like, what we were just going through in this moment. And now she's okay, and they come ask her questions, and she's laughing, and she's back, and it's just like, oh, okay. It's a relief, but it's still stressful. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, it's very much stressful. Y'all don't mind I need to get a haircut. I'm gonna get one. Y'all don't mind me. I gotta get my life back. You know what I'm saying? Back on track, back on self-care, focusing on me. I haven't focused on me in the past year, so me getting back to focusing on me is like hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't been focused on me, and it's hard to still be in the space, where you live and wake up and go to sleep every day, and it's the place where your mom passed away. The very room I'm in right now is the room she's passed away in. God, guys, my phone wants to die, but it's okay. We're gonna keep this gravy train going. So that was that incident. Okay, so it's not even just that. It's more to it than that, and I hope I'm not skipping over anything, and I'm just getting into storytelling, y'all. So y'all just bear with me. Yeah. So that was, I would say that's the third incident we had with her, her seeming like she's losing oxygen and having a hard time breathing. So yeah, they would come, they take her, she went to the hospital. Every time they take her to the hospital, I go down to the hospital. Sometimes they would take her to the hospital here where we live, or the last time they took her to the hospital here where we live, they had to airlift her and take her to another hospital. So, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. But yeah, so that last time they took her there, they wanted to further evaluate her. So that's the time I'm talking about. So they took her they airlifted her and they took her to Palm Springs, to the hospital in Palm Springs. So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm getting my, the times it happened correct. You know what I mean? So yeah, and so then she was down there a little while. When she was there, they ended up finding something on her brain. So then that went from God, high blood pressure. It went from diabetes. It went to congestive heart failure to now to her having something on her brain. And we didn't get to figure out exactly what was, because that was something we still was in the work of going back and forth to the doctors and stuff with, and as well as the heart doctors and as well as her personal doctors. So that's what happened that time. She went to the hospital. She was there a little while until they figured she was good to go, and she was released. So we went and picked her up from the hospital. My mom was a heavier set woman, so she wasn't the type where you could just lift her by yourself. It would take me to two other people to lift her, to put her in the car or put her in her wheelchair. Well, not in her wheelchair per se, because she had a Hoyer lift. So if we were at home and we were transporting her, my wife and I, we would transport her with the Hoyer lift from her bed to her chair. So that's how we would do that. But when it came to putting her in the car, that's a different story because the Warrior lift can't go that high or that low. So, you know, that's a lifting game. And yeah, that's never easy. I would just like to say, for you guys who have stuck around this long, thank you guys for watching and listening to my story. This is only part 1. I will have a part 2. It's a lot more to it than just to put in one video. And I don't want to have a long drawn out video for y'all. So I figured I'll give you guys a part 2. You know, I feel like everyone has a story and everyone has a challenge and we all overcome things in life. So, you know, drop a comment. I would love to hear some of you guys' story. Tap in with y'all on whatever, you know, opinion or what you think or however you feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely open to hearing. You guys, if you want to hear more content like this, then you guys stick around and y'all definitely stay tuned because I will have more content for you. Make sure you subscribe this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the likes on this video if you like the video. And I appreciate you guys for tapping in with Dope and Epic Films with your girl Tank. And y'all stick around. Y'all stay tuned for part 2. Until then, we're out. Peace.